While time here, let's talk about the Turbulent Timeways event and some of the things you're going to need to do before you can't do them anymore. It's going to be a lot easier to do them right now. So there's a few different things going on with the Turbulent Timeways. One of the main reasons I think Blizzard puts this in here is so that you can get some experience buffs and level up, like if you want to do a different class or whatever for the coming of Season 2. And then also they throw in a cool mount as well, and the chance to really get some pretty high-end gear for not a lot of effort. So let's talk about all three. First thing I want to talk about is the mount, because the mount is super sweet. So if you put in just time, and then it's like the time buzzy bee or something. We'll get the name here. Let's see. Here we go. This is what it is, the timely buzz bee. So this is the mount that you can get. Now, the achievement for this will take 5 weeks, and there's only 7 weeks in the event. So you need to start this like week 1, week 2 at the latest, so that you can get this. If you don't get it now, don't stress out about it. It'll be available later from a time walking vendor for like 5,000 time worked badges. At least the previous event like this mount, if you missed it, is now available. So I'm assuming that they're going to do it with this as well. So this is what it looks like, though. Pretty cool for the collection. Goes with the theme of Dragonflight, sort of the Dornigal kind of bee theme. So let's talk about how to get this, because it is pretty easy, but like I said, you're going to want to do it starting like now, or at least in the second week. So in order to do this, you're going to need to just basically run time walking dungeons. But to be a little bit more specific, let's get into it here. Master of the Turbulent Timeways 2. This is what you're going to get. You have to gain mastery of the Timeways for 5 weeks during the Turbulent Timeways 2 event. And you can see I've got mine here for week 1. Now, what it doesn't tell you is how to do that. So all you have to do is just go to your group finder, go to Dungeon Finder, go to Random Time Walking Mist of Pandaria Dungeons, which is what it is this week. I think they're going to switch it up in the coming weeks. And then just find a group with whatever your role is. And what you'll notice is after you run one and complete it, you'll get a buff up here. And it's going to be called, I think it's called Knowledge of Time, I believe. It's Knowledge of something. And basically what it does is it gives you a 2-hour buff that is like 5% increase to experience. Okay, so now you've got a 5% increase to experience. What you need to do is run another time walking dungeon, and then that buff will now stack to 2 buffs, and you'll have 10% experience. Run another time walking dungeon, and then you'll have 3 stacks and 15% experience. And then if you run 4 time walking dungeons, you are going to then get this buff called Mastery of the Timeways, which is going to give you a 30% increased into experience for killing monsters and completing quests. And this is the buff that you have to get once per week for 5 weeks. So essentially, you have to run 4 dungeons within the certain amount of time. It's not like on a time crunch, but you'll get the knowledge buff, and it expires in 2 hours. So you can't like do one a day. You have to do one, and within you're starting one, and then within 2 hours do another one, and then within another 2 hours do another one. So it refreshes, but you have to get them all done before that wears off. Now, I will say I do think that if you log out, the timer doesn't count down. At least it doesn't for the mastery one. So maybe you can do like once a day if that's your thing. But you have to get those 4 buffs. You can't like get it, play for 2 hours, not do it again, and let the buff run out and it stack. So anyway, do 4 of those. Not a big deal. Get done pretty quick, and then you'll get this. Now, if it works like it did last time, if you want to do this on an alt, like for the most efficient way, you can get this buff right here. You can just log out, or at least not let it expire. So to not let it expire, you have to just have this above 0 right here, right? So the way to do that is to log out, obviously, and then log back in on reset, which we'll talk about in a second, or you just run another time walking dungeon and it refreshes it. All right. So as long as you have time on this when the reset happens, so when the server resets, you can run another one, a single one, and it will refresh the time, and you should get credit for a full week. So if you want the easy way on a character you're not playing or whatever, as long as you have something here, reset happens, you run one, it refreshes, and then you get your credit, and then just rinse and repeat. All right, so it's not going to be very hard to manage. It's not a guarantee that it's going to happen that way because, it's still the first week, but that's the way it worked last time for people. So just keep that in mind. Okay, next thing that's really cool is the experience bonus that you get. Now, if you're like me and you've got a maxed out Warband mentored leveling, which means you have 5 level 80s already, all of your alts get 25% increased in experience, which is going to stack with the 30% increase from Mastery of the Timeways. So now that's going to be, I believe, 55% increase, which is going to be super quick for leveling. As a matter of fact, I haven't even ran any with this yet, but just with the other experience that I got from the previous buff, I gained 3 levels in 4 time walking dungeons, and it's just going to be easier with this 30%. So get your experience buffs, get the mount, and then another thing that you want to keep in mind is if you're on your level 80 characters and you run the weekly, the cash is actually going to give you up to like 619 gear. So if you're wanting to gear up and be, geared to the teeth by season 2, then do that, and that's going to give you 7 chances because there's 7 weeks to get, nice 619 gear, which is going to help. If you want to level alts to get into season 2, then this is going to be a great time to do it as well. So that's the Turbulent Timeways event. I know that it's sort of getting to the point where we're starting to burn out if you've been playing since the launch of the War Within. But these are just some little things that you can do to log in, sort of maintain your account and get ready for season 2, and also add a pretty sweet mount to the collection. So let me know what you think. What's your plans? What are you doing? Do you like the mount? Do you like these Turbulent Timeway things? And yeah, have fun playing the game. And until next time, I'll catch you all later.